Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiret Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Govindaya Namo Namaha Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we're reading from today. Thank you for joining. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 1st chapter, 39th shloka. Yasmaiva uttasvitanayo pratayaha prate vartao pakshambhiraksinivam Parta supernava iva varji vaktrata yamava utanivam remata udaya mrde swariktam Part supernava iva varji vaktrata Yamava uta svetanayo pratayaha Pratervritao prakshambhiraksinivam Remata udaya mrde swarektam Partha super nav iva virji viktart. Please chant. So we'll go to the
Yama utasvit tanayau prithaya Parthairvritau pakshmabhir akshniva Remata uddaya mridhasva riktam Parat suparnav iva vajri vaktrat.
Thank you, Mans. Okay. Synonymous. Yamau twins. Nakula and Sadeva.
వీడు చదివేలు ఎవరు పెట్టేస్తున్నారు ఆయన?
Okay. చెప్పండి మాధవ్.
సారీ సారీ ప్రభు. యమావుతాస్వితనయౌ పృతాయ పార్థైర్వృతౌ పక్షిమభిరక్షినివా రేమాత ఉద్ధాయ మృదే స్వరిక్షతం భారత సుపర్ణౌ ఇవ వజ్రిత్ వక్త్రాత్. హరే కృష్ణ. I think some more people will be there.
Yeah. Anyone wants to chant? Yeah. So we'll do that. Synonymous. Yamau twins, Nakula and Sadeva. Utasvit whether Tanayao sons Partaya of Partha, Partahei by the sons of Pratha, Vartao protected Pakshambhi by the shields, Akshini of the eyes, Eva like Remate playing carelessly, Uddhaya snatching, Mrde in the fight, Swariktam own property, Parat from the enemy Duryodhana, Supanarao, Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, Eva like Vajri, Vaktrat from the mouth of Indra. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Are the twin brothers who are protected by their brothers doing well? Just as the eye is always protected by the eyelid, they are protected by the sons of Pratha, who snatched back their rightful kingdom from the hands of their enemy Duryodhana. Just as Garuda snatched nectar from the mouth of Indra, the thunderbolt carrier. Purport. Indra, the king of heaven, carries a thunderbolt in his hand and is very strong. Yet, Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, was able to snatch nectar from his mouth. Similarly, Duryodhana was as strong as the king of heaven, and still the sons of Pratha, the Pandavas, were able to snatch away their kingdom from Duryodhana. Both Garuda and the Prathas are pet devotees of the law, and thus it was possible for them to face such strong enemies. Vidura's inquiry was about the youngest brothers of the Pandavas, namely Nakula and Sahadeva. These twin brothers were sons of Madri, the stepmother of the other Pandavas. But although they were stepbrothers, because Kunti took charge of them after the departure of Madri with her husband Maharaja Pandu, Nakula and Sahadeva were as good as the other three Pandavas, namely Yudhishthira, Bhima, and Arjuna. The five brothers are known in the world as regular brothers. The three elder Pandavas took care of the younger brothers, just as the eyelid takes care of the eye. Vidura was anxious to know whether, after winning back their own kingdom from the hands of Duryodhana, the younger brothers were still living happily under the care of the elder brothers. Om Jnana Tramandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilita Nene Tashme Shri Guruvai Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Satpitam Yene Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamyam Dadati Swapadandikam Namom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamani Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratasve Namaham Panjadadvakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavtaram Bhaktakam Nime Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वर्षभानु सुते देवी परमामि हरि प्रिय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौ हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Once again the translation. Are the twin brothers who are protected by the brothers doing well, just as the eye is always protected by the eyelid? They are protected by the sons of Pratha, who snatched back the rightful kingdom from the hands of their enemy Duryodhana, just as Garuda snatched nectar from the mouth of Indra, the thunderbolt carrier. So here, as you can see, Vidura has been traveling and he met Uddhava, and he's inquiring from him about everybody, about the Yadavas, and then he's talking about so he happens to learn that, the war has happened, and then the Pandavas won the war, and then, so he's inquiring after that, how, from Uddhava, all these inquiries. So here, what we see here, that, as Vidura is also saying, are the brothers been taking care? Are, how the Pandavas won the battlefield from the Kurus, Kauravas, just like the Garuda snatched the nectar from Indra. So what is this story about, Garuda and Indra? So basically what happens, so as we know, Kashyapa Muni was there. So he had Aditi, Diti, like this. There are other wives also of him. So the two wives were Daksha, and sorry, Daksha's daughter were there. They were Daksha's daughter, and then like all of them were Daksha's daughter. So they were married to Kashyapa Muni. So, so two were named as Vinita and Kadru. So these were two sisters. Kadru was being the elder sister, then the Vinita. So they both even serving nicely their husband Kashyapa Muni, and Kashyapa Muni, so after being, serving them very nicely, so he grant them, each one of them, a boon. So naturally, so they got the boon. So then Kadru asked, as a boon, 1,000 Naga sons, and Vinita just asked only 2 sons, who should be more powerful and brighter than Kadru's children. So Kadru asked 1,000 Naga sons, and Vinita asks 2 sons who should be more powerful than the Kadru's sons. So he, as desired, so he granted them the boon. So eventually, so they went ahead and they hatch their eggs, and then they were waiting, for the eggs to hatch, and then the children to come out. So they were waiting. Both of the mothers were patiently waiting. As after some time, Kadru sees that her eggs started hatching, and slowly, all the 1,000 sons were getting born. But and looking at this, Vinita got impatient, and then she was waiting, but it became impatient. Oh, her 1,000 sons came, but my eggs are still not hatched. So she secretly hatches, breaks one of the egg and try to see, what is going on. And after breaking the egg, so she could see, like, premature baby was there, already born, already coming, but he was premature. So by looking at this, the premature baby, whose name was given as Aruna, so he cursed his mother, Vinita, saying that you being, not allow me to fully develop, so you make me premature. So he was enraged, and he cursed his mother, saying that, after, you will be imprisoned by the sons of Kadru. The 1,000 sons, Naga sons, will imprison you because of this offense you created to me. So you will be punished as such. So she will be. So then, after some time, the sons were empowered. So then the Kadru's son actually imprisoned Vinita. So, but eventually, after some time, the other egg which was there, that hatched, and then a bird came. And actually, this Aruna eventually became, because as it was a very powerful, so he became the charioteer of the sun god, Suryadev. Suryadev, so he became the charioteer. So, and this the other egg hatched, and then eventually, the bird came. He demoted. He could not see his mother. He was very demoted, and as he was very much powerful, so he could understand, that he's after he learns that his mother is been imprisoned by the Naga's son, and this is all things happen. She broke, and then prematurely she broke one of the eggs, and then she was our Naga sons become empowered, and then they arrested him because their mother have not in a good have good relationships with them among themselves. So they, Garuda being, so then he develops, he gets stronger and stronger, and then he becomes charioteer of sometimes. So Garuda decides, okay, I need to release my mother because she's imprisoned, so I need to release. So he goes and asks Nagas, okay, what it takes for me to release my mother. So the Naga says, okay, you have to get in, if you really wanted to get your mother released, then you need to get us the Amrit, which is there with the Devatas, which is basically actually next to impossible task, because Devatas had only, rightful right to have the nectar, Amrit. So they thought, okay, if Garuda brings, then we are in a win-win situation. So then Garuda says, okay, I will try. So he goes, and then he fights with like various demigods, like all the demigods, and then he actually, fights with them, and then like he eventually um, gets get even into the Indra, and Indra being a very, very powerful king, king of the heavens, he also fights with them, and then he actually snatches the part of Indra, sorry, a part of nectar from Indra, and he gets it to the Nagas and gives them. And then thereby he releases his mother. So from here we can see like how Garuda was being, single person, but he still, was able to defeat the Devatas because he was a very great devotee of the Lord, and he was a pet devotee, as Prabhupada is saying. He was, pet devotee of the Lord. So from here, that's why Vidura say, like, how Garuda being, not that, he was alone, and they were many Devatas. He could still defeat them. It was next to impossible. Similarly, the Kauravas had 11 Akshayani Sena, and Pandavas has only 7 Akshayani Senas. And Kauravas also got Narayana Sena, the most powerful army. But Krishna was there at the Pandavas side. So the dharma was always at the Pandava side. So wherever the dharma is, that eventually gets, one day or the other, they will get victory. That's how it works. So that's why, and he learns, like, how the Pandavas, being less in number, still they could defeat, the Kauravas. They had a great, like Duryodhana says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Okay, see how I've been protected by, Bhishma Pitamaha, Dronacharya, Karna, Vashwathama, all these other great kings. And he says, oh, Pandavas is only protected by the Bhima. He says in the Bhagavad Gita. So that shows, how great warriors were there on his side. And he was very proud of them. He was thinking that it is not next to impossible for the Pandavas to defeat them. But eventually, the Pandavas actually defeat them. So that's what, and he learns this. Vidura learns this, and then he says, okay, how the Pandavas snatch away the kingdom, rightful kingdom of their own from the sons of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana especially. So that was the address here. So how the story of how Garuda stole, snatched the nectar from the mouth of Indra. So that's how that comparison is been made here by Vidura. Whatever. So, and similarly, as Vidura was inquiring all this, how are they? So now, as the Pandavas got the rightful kingdom, the Pandavas, Kunti Devi had 3 sons, Dhritarashtra, no, not Dhritarashtra, Dharmaraja, Bhima, and Arjuna, and their other son, Madri, had 2 sons, from Yamaraj, Kunti Devi got this Dharmaraj, and then and then from Vayu, she got Bhima, and then from Indra, she got Arjuna, and Madri got from the Ashwini Kumara, so she got Nakula and Sahadeva, the twin brothers. So, as Pandu left his body, so as per the ritual, that custom, so the wives used to voluntarily, get into the fire along with their husband. So that was a ritual. It was a voluntary thing. So, in that case, Kunti suggested she wants to go, but Madri said she will go and Kunti should take care of all the children. So, according to their mutual understanding, so Madri gets into the fire with her husband, Pandu. And that's how Kunti Devi is been given charge to take care of all the 5 children. And she took care of them as good as all the 5 children were of her own. And even the brothers were always equal to all of among themselves. They never have any differences among them. So they were raised and all. But the thing is now, why Vidura is asking after getting the kingdom? That was before the kingdom. Because once people get pride, their position or the name, fame, money, then things changes. And he could see that, as Kali Yuga going to approach, so how the things are going to be, because as being a devotee, he could sense, that's why, in Naimashwaranya, this Srimad Bhagavatam, so all the sages in the Naimashwaranya, they could see, how the Kali Yuga is going to, they were sensing how Kali Yuga is going to be the most abominable age. So they started doing a big sacrifice, and then they were inquiring about Sutta Goswami, and that's how Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken there. So if we can see the, Kali Yuga is not at all, see, basically there are 3 modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So all these modes of nature are there in all the yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. In Satya Yuga also, these 3 modes of material nature are there, but the mode of ignorance is very, very less affected in that age. Very, very less. But in the age of Kali Yuga, it is more prominently affected by, it is prominently affect many people. Satya, this mode of goodness is still there, passion is also there, but ignorance is a lot affected in the age of Kali Yuga. And because of that, people will tend to, not to be God conscious. They will be more inclined for their own sense gratification, trying to fulfill their own senses. And for that, they are ready to do anything and everything. And all this thing is very nicely explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, where Maharaj Parikshit asked Sukadeva Goswami how the Kali Yuga is going to be. And he explains very nicely how the Kali Yuga is going to be. He clearly says the brothers among the brothers, they will fight for the property. And people will be envy, friends and their own brothers will become envy if somebody is progressing and somebody is become famous and rich. They will fight among them. They will be ready even to kill each other. That is the in situation will be in the Kali Yuga. And we see in present day, we can clearly see in the news, we can hear so many things. How brothers and all relatives are fighting for the property. If somebody is famous and rich, So there was a very big politician in Maharashtra. Probably I hope you all know, maybe Pramod Mahajan. His name was Pramod Mahajan, and he was a telecommunication even minister among when BJP formed the government in 95 with Shiv Sena. So he was a telecommunication minister even. He was such a big elevated personality, and he was very famous, very, very charismatic politician. But, his elder brother was there, and he was not that, he was very talented. Pramod Mahajan was very talented, very good. So he progressed very much. But his elder brother was not that good in speaking and all that he was having. And he was in a very, very limited position. And that became envy to him. So that became envy to him. And then he could not bear it, that his brother, younger brother, is going such a top level and nobody respects him, nobody gives credit to him, anything. Everybody's talking about him and all that. So he becomes so envious, actually shoots him. He kills his own brother just because he was enemy of his, name and fame. So that was like, it was a big news in the news those days. So like that, so we can see so many things, So that's why the effect of Kali Yuga is going to start soon. So that's why the Pandavas, the elder three brothers, are taking care of the younger ones. As soon as they got the kingdom, are they neglecting them? How they used to take care of, very nicely, like how the example is given, like the eye is protected by the eyelid. They were protecting like that. Are they still continuing to do that? So as soon as they got the name and fame, the kingdom back, are they neglecting the younger brothers because of the step brothers? Did they do any partiality? So this was the inquiry. So it's very prominent, like, why Vidura is saying that, because he could see, like, Kali Yuga is going to, and this is the effect of Kali Yuga. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is very nicely. So that's why Vidura is asking. And of course, Pandavas being, Vaishnavas are pure devotees of the Lord. So they are very much happy with all the five brothers were very nice devotees of the Lord. So they were more inclined to serving Lord Shri Krishna than fighting among themselves. So Maharaja Yudhishthira, wanted to perform Rajasuya Yajna, and he sent all his four brothers in four directions to go and collect, riches, so that he can perform Rajasuya Yajna. So the four brothers went by the order of his brothers. So going to collect means like they have to fight with the people, the kingdom, whoever doesn't want to agree to does not accept that Yudhishthira Maharaj is the emperor, and they have to give the taxes and all. So if they don't, then they have to fight, and they have to go walking on the horses many miles, go and take, eat whatever they get, stay wherever they can. All this, they have to take so much trouble, and they did it for their elder brother, all the four brothers. So like that. So, so they were very good example. So that's why, it says, even though there were Kauravas were 100 in number, Pandavas are only 5, but they could still defeat them. That is still the examples given in India, how the Pandavas, being less in number, they could still defeat it because they know. So still examples are given like that. And also we can see from the history, how the brothers are to be, like also in the example of Ramayana, Lord Ramachandra, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrughna, how the four brothers were, such a great example, set by the Lord himself, like, So these are the things which we have to follow. But in Kali Yuga, as it is progressing, nobody wants to follow that. Everybody is more inclined into sense gratification. So like, and we could see, and one more story is, it was like, when Aurangzeb, when Muslim was ruled in India, Muslims were ruling. So there was a very cruel king named Aurangzeb. So actually, Shah Jahan was the king. Shah Jahan, they say, like, he built the Taj Mahal, but it is in controversy that he actually built it or it was already there. So Shah Jahan was the king, and he had Dara Shikoi was the elder brother, and then there were other brothers, and Aurangzeb was. So there were 4 brothers, and one of the brother was Aurangzeb. No, actually there were 7 brothers. Yeah, 7 brothers. And Dara Shikoi was the first elder brother, and Aurangzeb was 6th or 7th number. But Aurangzeb was so cunning that he wanted to become the king, and he knew that being the elder brother, he cannot get the kingdom. So what he planned, he actually killed all his brothers. He killed all his brothers. He actually imprisoned his father also, Shah Jahan. He imprisoned him, and the elder brother was actually very pious also. He was very pious, and he actually was also very favorable to Vaishnavism also. Being a Muslim, he was very favorable to Muslimism, Vaishnavism. So, but he was so cunning that he actually cut his head, and he presents the head of his elder brother, his own elder brother, to his father who is in the jail, to Shah Jahan. Can we see how cunning he was? Like, he was so envious, so much anger and bad, evil things were there in him. So that was an example. And the Kali Yuga effect is people still take his name in the name, and there are roads even in India on his name, Aurangzeb Road, and especially in Delhi, we can see that, And then there is also how his rule and all, people still follow him, his greatness. They think that he was a great king. This is the example, How can a person, he killed his own brothers, all his brothers, just to get the kingdom, and even imprisoned his father and left his father to die in the prison. And they want to follow this. So, but whereas from Vaishnavism, so from this scriptures, we can see how the elder brothers were taking so nice care of their younger brothers. Are they still living happily under the protection of the elder brothers? So are they not creating any enmity with them? They do not have enmity. They are, taking care. They have been rightfully given their own share, of the kingdom administration. So like that, so we can see from here how Vidura was inquiring about this, about the younger brothers, twin brothers of the Pandavas. And how he also gave an example of how Garuda snatched the nectar from the mouth of Indra, the thunderbolt carrier. So I like to stop here, and if anybody has any questions, any comments, anything to add, please feel free to do so. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Any?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much for the nice class. And then this is what is that? That Garuda, and then is taking nectar from.
Yes.
That is the story that I like that one.
Yeah, this story has been given in Brahmanda Purana.
Okay.
In Brahmanda Purana, this story is there.
Yeah, that was good. A lot of good points you said. Thank you very much for the class, Prabhu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So if no questions, then we'll stop. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Panchakalpatarabhasha, Kripa Sindhabhayavsha, Patanam Pavana Namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जय श्रील प्रभात की जय.
Thank you, Murlidhar Keshav Prabhu.
Thank you so much.